Thank you for inviting me to speak about Haiti. My name is Glen Jackson, and I'll just give you a bit of a history. I was born in the 1800s. I actually graduated from veterinary college in 1971, and the reason I became a veterinarian is because I always wanted to work in the third world. And in 1971 I had a job lined up with an organization called CUSO, Canadian University Service Overseas, and the job was to work with the Maasai Indians and the wildebeest in East Africa, leaving in May of 1971. In March of 1971, one of the world's worst despots, Idi Amin, moved into Uganda, and all the projects in East Africa were cancelled because basically the whites were eliminated. So then I sort of was thinking, okay, what am I going to do? And life took over, and I moved from University of Guelph to Windsor, and I worked and owned a veterinary hospital here for 37 years. And then in 2010, when the earthquake hit Haiti, 500,000 people died. The city of Port-au-Prince was almost destroyed. I thought, you know what, this is my opportunity to go and do what I've always wanted to do, and that is to work in the third world. So I got in touch with a small Windsor-based charity called Hearts Together for Haiti, and found out that they were leaving in the next month or so for Haiti, and they were planning to buy some property to build a school and an orphanage and a medical clinic. So I tagged along on that trip, and that is kind of how it all started, and it just, from there, just got larger and bigger, and the needs are so great, but the rewards are also so incredibly great. Hearts Together for Haiti has been in existence for 20, 30 years. It's a small Windsor-based charity that does an awful lot of work in Haiti. And interesting, in the last week, we were given Platinum Jubilee pins in honor of Her late Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. And it's for commending us for our hard work and dedication to the people of Haiti, where our whole team was able to provide villages with the necessary tools to become healthy, self-sufficient, etc. And one of the things I really liked was the empowerment of women, which I'll get to in a little bit. Anyway, to receive an award like this is just amazing, and I think it tells you that Hearts Together for Haiti is definitely a good, reputable charity. So we'll start with my first trip. And in 2010, there was an earthquake in Haiti. 500,000 people were killed. And that seemed to be the trigger that, okay, Glenn, it's your time to finally go and do some work in the third world. So we flew into the city of Cap-Haïtien. Cap-Haïtien is the second largest city in Haiti. It's where Christopher Columbus landed in 1492. Although you'd never recognize it now. Probably a million people. The squalor and the poverty is incredible. And so on our first night there, we were approached by this young teenage boy, Wadner Cherifon. And he was begging for a job. He said he could be a guide, he could speak English, he would take us wherever we wanted. And we didn't really need a guide. We had one, but for some reason it was the right thing to do. So I made arrangements to hire Wadner. Not that day or the next, but in 2 or 3 days down the road, and he was to meet us at the hotel. Wadner is an orphan. His parents were killed, and he was trying to earn money to buy food for his younger brother and sister. He wasn't in school because in Haiti you have to pay for school, and there was no money, and they were living on the streets because there was no home. So, to be continued. The major reason we went to Haiti, Hearts Together for Haiti, was to buy property to build a school, and they'd already determined that they wanted to buy property in the village of Depe, which is a rural community miles from anywhere, very, very poor, impoverished village. And it's not a village that you would think of. There's no streets, there's no street signs, there's no shops. There's no running water, there's no electricity, there's no roads. It's simply a collection of huts scattered over many, many acres. And the The homes that you're going to see, although they look kind of neat, usually house 8 to 12 people, and they have mud floors. Bathrooms are over there behind a bush, and the kitchen, you'll see, is basically a charcoal pit outside the back door. And a lot of the families will share the charcoal pits because they can't afford propane, and there's a limited amount of wood available in Haiti. So these are typical homes, and as I say, a lot of them are in need of repair. But note the color and how bright they are, and the people are genuinely happy to see you and to speak with you when you go. That's kind of a neat one, color. Green, matching. And there is a woman cooking rice over the charcoal and wood fire pit. And they tend to gather families together, and they cook together in groups. It just saves money. Here's an elderly lady at the medical clinic. There's actually two elderly ladies at the medical clinic. We have a medical clinic that meets every Monday, and the doctor sees about 25-30 patients. Dr. Mwampois is on the far left in green, and the nurse is in the kind of the middle right in blue, and those are people waiting. That is the original school that was built in 2010 on the property that we purchased in the village of Depe. That's just a family with the children that were at our school and their home. That is actually the church, St. Elizabeth Church, which it's officially Catholic, but we use it for all denominations. They all have their own set time, and it's busy all the time. That's an outhouse, which they're rare. Mostly it's out behind a bush or a shrub, but that's a typical outhouse. You'll see. There's there again a fire pit. That's how the people will cook their food, rain or shine. We have a brand new well inside the school grounds. There's the brand new well, and there's one of the old wells. So that's our water supply. So say no electricity and no running water. So what we're going to do is we're going to show a video, and the video is about 10 minutes in length, and it explains everything that we have done since we purchased property in the village of Depe. And then once that is up, I will then talk about present-day Haiti. Okay?
It's the start of the school day in Depe, a rural community in northern Haiti. Every morning, the school kids here line up to sing an anthem and recite a pledge of loyalty to their country, a show of appreciation for the good fortune that's brought this school to their community. In Depe, they call their school L'École Espoir. That's Creole for what this school actually represents to these kids and their families. In English, it's a school called Hope. School of Hope is not unique in Haiti. It's like thousands of other schools around the country. All of them built, managed, and maintained by non-Haitians. In this case, a Canadian charity, Hearts Together for Haiti, from Windsor, Ontario. This facility is bigger than most of the schools that dot the countryside. It includes a small orphanage and a medical clinic, too. It's also more successful than many of the others. It was founded in 2010.
In Depe, we started out by doing what we could do. And at that time, we could make a little gazebo school. We could pay teachers and have the kids have their classes. We had preschool A and preschool B, 2 classes in this little gazebo school. And after a few years, we started to have successes in the school, and the kids started to move on, and we needed a bigger school. So we ended up building a grade school, a cement grade school.
Education is free to the children of the School of Hope, no tuition. The roughly $400 a year it costs to put each of the hundreds of the school students through a grade is covered completely by Canadian donors. For that, the kids get schooling, uniforms, books, and a daily meal. It's an opportunity not available any other way. The Haitian government cannot and mostly does not pay for primary education in this country. It leaves that job to the charities. Herod Dervis is the administrator at the School of Hope. He makes the point that without the Canadian charity Hearts Together for Haiti, the children of Depe would have no school at all.
Bénéfice li pote li change situation ti moun yo et au point de vue intellectuel, au point de vue social aussi. Nous arrangeons nous pour que nous ayons des professeurs compétents pour enseigner kou yo et nous avons discipline nous mettre pour permettre que ti moun yo même yo suivent kou k'ap fait yo et yo étudier pour permettre yo réussir.
The grade 9 entrance exam that Herod Dervis speaks about is a big thing. Fail and you have an uncertain future in your life. Pass and you get to enter the only part of the Haitian education system that's paid for by the government. That's high school. It's a tough test. The kids write it in French, not their native Creole. It's math and reading and basic skills, the curriculum at the School of Hope.
There's a saying in Creole, espoir fait vivre, so hope makes you live. So we're trying to provide them with education so that they can have a future, and future generations can be successful in Haiti all through education.
The man on the scooter is Milo Cadet. He's a lawyer and a teacher at School of Hope. He knows firsthand the importance of what the school is teaching. Without primary education, he says, there is no high school. And without high school, there is no job.
A good education for us is to study very hard, okay? And then if you get a good education, it's easier for you to get a job. But if you do not get a good education, a job is not easy for you. Like, you have to study very hard, you have to be good in math, good in physics, good in chemistry, good in French. The best subject that we need in Haiti is French. If you do not speak French, you will not find any job in Haiti.
Another essential is high school. Like the primary school system in Haiti, private donor-funded schools are demonstrably better because the public high schools are barely functioning. This school is in the town of Wanamouth, close to Depe. It's government-run, and it's virtually broke. Can't pay the teachers, can't buy books. We asked the principal about the need for high school education for Haitian youth. He turned the conversation around on us, asking if School of Hope had anything they could share, books, supplies, food.
Mais c'était pour classe fondamentale, 7e, 8e, 9e. Même là que nous ne pouvons pas empêcher, l'autre élève vient de manger. Nous devons manger, nous devons manger. Mais normalement, nous ne pouvons pas manger actuellement pour Timounio. Mais si l'école cadre de DP, tu as aidé nous à nous manger pour Timounio, pour élèves. Il est bon pour nous en pile, parce que c'est un stimulant que tu as fait Timouni apprendre bien.
Days of the week.
Nilu Cadet teaches English and Spanish at School of Hope. He gets paid at the standard teacher pay scale, about $200 Canadian a month. Worth it, he says, to give these students a chance to succeed in ways they would not be able to without this school.
Education system reposed on the private school, but not the government school.
And these private schools, who runs and funds the private schools?
The private school, for example, if I have money, I can build my own school, okay? And I give the price I want.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And how about École Espoir? Can you tell me how that school works?
École Espoir, it is a Canadian school, and then École Espoir gives lots of opportunity to the community. Like they give a clinic. People does not need money, to get health, and then they give food, they give books, and they give uniforms, so everything.
What Milu doesn't mention is that the school is now providing an unexpected but valuable additional service in the community: adult education. The students' parents wanted to keep up with their children. At Hearts Together for Haiti, they say they're happy to do more. They say it's essential that everyone in the community, adults and children both, have a chance to get ahead.
They need to ultimately be able to take care of themselves. So once they get through grade school, they have to get through elementary school. They have to learn how to write their name. A lot of these kids they're illiterate. So in order to move on, you need to learn how to read, to write. And some kids will take different pathways, but a lot of the kids that we sponsor are going to university pathway. Some of these kids, we've been there for a long time, and some of the students that we know have gone on to become medical professionals, and they can get a job through an NGO, or we can hire some of these students as Hearts Together for Haiti. And we've done things like that. We've gone full circle with sponsorship.
Name of the grade 9 is good morning and a welcome.
Oh, bonjour et merci.
At School of Hope, at the beginning of the day, they take a moment to thank a visitor from Canada. Glen Jackson donates regularly to Hearts Together for Haiti. The kids in this assembly know how important people like Glen are to their future. Every morning at dawn, the streets of the cities and towns of Haiti fill with kids in crisp, clean uniforms, going to their private primary schools and their public high schools, each one chasing an opportunity to embrace what they have already found in the rural community of Depé: hope.
Hi, hello, bonjour, comment ça va? Hi, hello, bonjour, comment ça? Welcome, 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 welcome. Hi, hello, bonjour, comment ça va? Hi, hello, bonjour, comment ça?
So present-day Haiti. Haiti, of course, is the poorest country in the West and has been in trouble for a very, very long time. Present-day Haiti is the worst it has ever been. President Jovenel Moise was assassinated 2 years ago. The Prime Minister, who is still the Prime Minister, was implicated in the plot to kill him. And there's been no election since, so basically the government is corrupt. So these are scenes of the chaos that is happening in Haiti right now. The police force is understaffed. The gangs are basically running the major cities, which would be Port-au-Prince and Cap-Haïtien. They like to do blocks in the middle of the roads to prevent the food trucks and the gasoline or petrol trucks from getting through to the rest of the country. And as a result of that, the prices of food have skyrocketed, and the gas is almost not available. If it is available, it's more per liter than we pay here, and these are for people that earn $2 a day. So these are demonstrations by the people to try to get the government or whoever to come to their assistance and help them. So basically, there again, this is the chaos that is Haiti today. Kidnapping is a huge, huge issue. That's why I haven't been to Haiti since 2020. COVID was part of it. Kidnapping, not only for white people, but for anybody that they assume might have a few dollars, they'll kidnap, they'll kill you. So I can't go to Haiti. It's unfortunate. I wanted to share with you stories. And I get stories every day, every week. And I've decided to choose about 4 or 5 of them to help give you an understanding of what the realities of life in Haiti are. I'm going to give you the good, the bad, and the ugly. My cousin who did the video earlier wanted everything to be positive, which we've done a lot of wonderful things, but That's not the reality of life as it is right now. I want you to meet this little boy. A fellow named DJ, who's a disc jockey, who actually has a job. He makes enough money to feed himself and pay rent, messaged me about a year ago, and he told me that his cousin was pregnant, hemorrhaging, in horrible pain and in distress, sitting on the doorstep of the hospital. But unfortunately, if you haven't got money, the hospital won't look at you. That sounds terrible, but the hospital also has no medication or anything extra, so unless you pay for it, they haven't got it for you. Anyway, what I did was I wired money. When I send money, it takes 4 days, so then I take a picture of the receipt and send it to the hospital to prove that the money is coming, in which case they took the young lady in. They did a complete exam, and it was determined that she needed a cesarean section. So they performed a cesarean section. The bad news is that she died. The reason she died is because she had hemorrhaged so much and she needed a transfusion. There's just no access to blood transfusions available anywhere. So unfortunately she died. The good news is a healthy little baby boy was born. So now what are we going to do with this little child? An orphan in a sense. And so DJ said to me, he was an orphan. He grew up in an orphanage. That's not going to happen. So here is Glen, named after me, holding on to the hand of his new father, DJ. So he's been adopted. So that's a great story. The next story is about a little boy named Jaden. And you met Milu in the video. He's one of the teachers in our school. And Milu lives in the city of Wanamath, which is right on the border with the Dominican Republic. The border to the Dominican is a river which a lot of the Haitians would forge at night to get across into the Dominican in the hope for a job or money or place to stay. But in the last couple of years, they've erected these huge 10-foot fences. And if they catch the Haitians trying to cross the border, cross the fences, cross the river, they imprison them. So Milu heard this child crying and crying and crying, got up out of bed in the night, followed the sound, and it was right at the border, and he met a little 4-year-old child who was naked, no shoes, crying his eyes out. So he picked him up and brought him home. The story is that his parents were trying to cross into the Dominican, but he was so afraid, he was so hungry, he started to cry, and if the police heard him crying, they would catch the parents and imprison them. So the parents abandoned the little boy. That's the bad news. The good news is he's been adopted by Milu, and here he is with Milu's son, William. William is actually my godson. And I think the next slide is Jaden and William in their school uniforms this week, going to school. The next story is about Josie Abelard. Josie Abelard is a girl that done it incredibly well. That's the house that she and 12 other people live in. They have absolutely no money. They're impoverished, but somehow she managed to graduate from our school and also high school. She, now that she's finished high school, she would love to go to college, but that's impossible because there's just no money. And I was able to find someone to sponsor her. And here's a picture of Josie in her school uniform. She's taking cosmetology and culinary. So with both of those behind her, it's a 2-year program, she'll be able to earn money, have a job, and do well. So good for her. And thank you to the people that sponsored her. We have an orphanage in the village of Depe with 10 girls that you've seen in the video. But I've been working for a while with an orphanage in the city of Cap-Haïtien, 40 children approximately. Some of them were drop-offs, some of them were just kids found on the street that were abandoned. Some of them were what they call restivics, which means that they were slave children that Haitian Social Services found and put into the orphanage. And the bad news is they live in 3 rooms in the downtown area of Cap-Haïtien, so the bedrooms are small. There's no classroom. We do send them to school. So the bad news is they're crowded. The good news is that they're safe, they're fed, they go to school, and they're healthy. We have medical care for them. I bought a piece of property about 2 years ago in the outskirts of the city, and the plan is to build an orphanage block by block, so we'll have more bedrooms. I want a really large dining area which can also substitute as a classroom, and if we have a classroom we can hire teachers, which is a lot less expensive than sending the kids to a different school, plus we get quality teachers. So here are the pictures of the orphans. The lady in the back, the tall lady, is Dr. Fedia Leclerc. She's another one of our success stories. She's a lady doctor that we put through medical school in Port-au-Prince, and she's now taking care of the medical needs of the orphanage for us. $2,000 a month to feed these kids, and there is the food that they get monthly. It's rice, beans, vegetable oil, fruit, and if possible there'll be some protein, chicken or goat, but that's rare. The next story is about a girl named Rose Melita. Now in 2012 I met this family in the city of Wanamith, which is the city on the border, and there are 6 kids, as you can see. Rose Melita's number 5, and their parents were killed, and so they were raised by the oldest boy, Joe Nell, who's on the left, and they were doing okay. Rose Melita eventually married, and she had a little boy, and then her husband got a job in Brazil, so she and her husband moved to Brazil, leaving her son with Joe Nell in Haiti, and the plan was they would come back and get him once they were established. When they were in Brazil, they were able to work, but they barely made enough money to survive, let alone go back to Haiti. So their oldest son is still with their uncle Joe Nell. In the meantime, she had a little boy born in Brazil. 5 months ago, her husband was killed in an industrial accident. So there she is alone with the 2-year-old, no job. So this gutsy girl, and that's what I'm going to call her, a gutsy girl, trekked through the forests of Brazil, Venezuela, Colombia, and made it to the Panama Canal, crossed over into Panama, and then trekked for another 3 to 4 months with her backpack and her 2-year-old through Guatemala, Costa Rica, Nicaragua, made it finally to the southern border of Mexico, in which case she was in medical distress, as was her little boy. She was also 9 months pregnant. So she was pregnant when her husband was killed, and she trekked through the forests and the jungles in that condition, with a backpack, a little boy, and she's pregnant. Sort of the good news was an aid agency found her right away and shipped her to Florida. And so little Laura, who you can see there in pink, was born in Florida, so she's American born. The little boy was born in Brazil. The bad news is, 1 week after the birth of the little girl, American immigration came to her room and knocked on the door and said, "We are sending you back to Haiti. You were to have the children ready and packed, and we'll be moving you on Friday," which is about 4 to 5 days away. Be ready. So this gutsy girl had a plan, and the next thing you know, she's on a bus. She borrowed, begged, whatever she could do to get money, and got on the bus. Right now she's in a refugee camp in Montreal. A very, very good chance that she'll get to stay in Canada. The Canadians are much better with refugees. She's got a place to stay. They feed her. She actually has a little part-time job babysitting other children. And so we can pray that the Canadian government will allow her to stay, and she'll do well. And then she can go send for the little boy in Haiti to join them. The final story, we talked about Wadner at the very beginning, the street boy that I found in Cap-Haïtien, and he was just trying to earn money to feed his brother and sister, and he was an orphan and not able to go to school. So when I got back to Canada after that trip, I found a way to get in touch with him and decided to try to sponsor him for school, got him into high school. My brother, who was very kind, sponsored his brother, so the 2 boys were shipped off to high school in Cap-Haïtien. let's fast forward from 2010 to March the 4th, 2023, which is in 6 weeks. Meet the future Dr. Wadner Sharonfong. Huge success story for me. I just wanted to do a couple of little final things about what we're doing in Haiti. This is a picture of the kindergarten class in our school. And you can see they're in their uniforms and they're happy, and they have books. This is actually a picture of the 10 Kainu orphans. Kainu means our home, and these are the orphan girls. Most of these girls were Restiviks, or slave children, that were taken by social services and placed in our orphanage. The one couple in the back row, the principal of the school and one of our teachers are also in charge of the orphans. So the orphans are doing really well. That is the Depe Medical Clinic. And every Monday, Dr. Mouampoint comes and sees 25-30 people. The problem with the medical clinic is we're short on testing. Without electricity, there's little availability to do any testing, and we're always struggling to have enough money for medication. So we're hoping that we'll get some donations for that. These are just some of the kids. They're always so happy to see us when we arrive. And as I say, it's been a couple of years since I've been because of kidnapping and chaos, but I do hope to go back soon. We do a sponsorship program for the children, and the sponsorship program not only puts them through school, gives them a school uniform, buys their books, but it also gives them lunch every day. We have 465 kids in the school now, and they get fed every day, Monday through Friday, and they eat more than I do. We also do a program for seniors. We probably have about 25 or 30 seniors who, elderly people who have no family and no income, and basically they would be begging. And so we have a program where they can be sponsored, and every month they get a bag of rice, a bag of beans, a jug of vegetable oil, and some fruit and a little bit of some vegetables as well. And but they cook, because they cook in a community. They're able to contribute to the community, so that what you've really done for them is give them a sense of dignity. I just wanted to show you our grade 9 girls. So when we started the school in 2010, we had about 30 kids, assuming that our class would all be little kids 5 and 6 years old in kindergarten and grade 1, not realizing that so many of them would be teenagers. If we fast forward this 8 or 10 years later, a lot of these girls were in kindergarten, and they're now teenagers, or they're in their early 20s, but they've done incredibly well. And our school has a really good reputation. I just kind of like this picture because my name is in it, and of course I'm vain. But if you read it, it says, "Thank you for all you've done in Haiti. God bless Jackson Glen." There is a picture of the school as it is today. There's 3 rooms of the school. And of course, this is going to be in your newsletter, which actually is in your newsletter already, so that if you're interested at all in helping, it'll show you or explain to you how to help, how to get in touch with me. So appreciate all that.